This is a tutorial for functional range conditioning, PAILs and rails of the ankle joint in plantar flexion. PAILs and rails stands for progressive and regressive angular isometric loading. Within the functional range system, we use PAILs and rails to achieve three objectives. The first is to increase range of motion, length of tissue, or space within the joint itself. The second objective is to gain access and control at our end ranges of motion. And the last objective is to create better quality connective tissue of the joint, tendon, or muscle that we are working on. So what is plantar flexion of the ankle? Well, simply put, the foot moves up this way and down that way. This is plantar flexion. This is dorsiflexion. So plantar flexion, think like a dancer pointing their foot all the way down, or like you're hitting a gas pedal hard to the floor that way. So when we do our PAILs and rails session, we first need to learn how to stretch that joint. If you do not have a lot of range of motion in plantar flexion, you're going to use the first setup that I'll show you. And if you already have a decent range of motion, we're going to use a couple of props if needed. So option number one. Now you can do both feet at the same time, or you can do one foot at a time. But what we're going to do if you don't have a lot of range of motion is we're going to place the tops of our feet on the floor. We're going to start to sit back like this, so that we're now stretching the front side, the top side of the ankle joint, and some of the muscles on the front of the shin. So this is option number one. If you don't feel a lot of stretch here, you can lean your chest back, taking more weight over your hips and pelvis to load more into that stretch. But say you don't feel much here. Let's go ahead and get some props. So you can use a mobility pad like one of these. You can use a towel that you'll roll up, or you can use a yoga mat that you'll roll up. And what we'll do is place our foot onto this instead, increasing the stretch of plantar flexion. So for me, I'm going to use this for my PAILs and rails session. And what I'm going to do when I apply a PAILs contraction is I'm going to be trying to pull from plantar flexion out of there into dorsiflexion. So in this case, the top of my foot's going to be on this. And when I do my PAILs, I'm going to drag my foot further down into this pad, contracting the muscles on the front side of my shin. Picture that I'm trying to make a dent with the top of my foot by pushing it down into the pad. My rails contraction, the regressive isometric, is going to be the opposite. I'm going to try to be pointing the foot further into plantar flexion. Again, think like a dancer trying to point their foot as far as they can that way, or hitting the gas pedal hard to the floor. So let's get into our 60 seconds of stretch here. I'm going to do both at the same time. And I'm going to take the top of my foot to the top of that pad, and I'm going to start to sink down into the stretch here. And you can see I've got a gap between the floor and the top of my foot, so I can get a lot of stretch in this position. Now again, you roll up a yoga mat, roll up a towel, whatever you like for this. Or maybe you don't need this. So 60 seconds minimum of stretch, 2 minutes if you have a lot of stiff tissue, and let's take some deep breaths in. We're sinking deeper into the stretch if we can. You should feel this fairly intensely on the top side of the foot and ankle and through all this tissue here, potentially and through the muscles on the front of the shin also. Slow in our breath. This is not a particularly comfortable stretch for anybody. So those deep breaths help to calm our central nervous system, and allow us to relax a little bit with uncomfortable sensations. So again, when I apply my PAILs contraction, I'm going to be dragging my feet down into the pad, trying to make a pressure of the top of my foot pushing, trying to scoop the foot forward this way. Good, a few more deep breaths. Now when you apply your PAILs, use anywhere from 20 to 80% effort of contraction or intensity. If you're just learning this, start with a low level effort, 20%, and then you can build up as you get more comfortable. So we're going to take a deep breath in. We're going to trap some tension in our core, and we're going to apply our PAILs, start to drag the tops of your feet down into your pad, your towel, yoga mat, or the floor. Squeeze and contract the muscles on the front of the shin for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. My rails, I'm going to point my feet further into plantar flexion such that if I lean forward like this, I'm trying to keep it in that plantar flex position. Now, you might experience a cramp here. Work through it. Hold 3, 2, 1. Foot cramps are not unusual here also. Another deep breath in. Create some core tension. Start to drag the tops of your feet down onto that pad. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the front shin muscles. Deep breath in. Keep pushing. 3, 2, 1. Rails. Try to pull your feet further into plantar flexion. Squeeze the deep calf, the foot muscles. If you cramp, just work through it. Good. 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in, back into a PAILs. Drag the tops of your feet down into the floor, pad, yoga mat, or towel. Squeeze and contract the front of the shin. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rails. Point further like a dancer, pointing their feet. Squeeze that deep calf muscle, bottom of the feet. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deepen the stretch if you can. Sit a little further back. Deep breath in. Contract the core. Hold everything tight. PAILs. Drag the tops of the feet down into the floor. Contract harder if you're just getting into this. Use less intensity. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rails. Point into plantar flexion. Squeeze the deep calf. Contract the bottoms of your feet. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last PAILs, last rails. Deep breath in. If you want to use a high level of intensity here, go for it. If you want to keep it a low level, if you're just learning this, that's fine. Deep breath in. Trap some core tension. Drag. Push the tops of your feet into your progressive isometric. Squeeze everything firm. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rails. Point the feet again, such that if I lean forward, I'm trying to point these further. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Okay, come out of that position. Take your feet through some gentle plantar flexion and dorsiflexion like this. If you're just learning how to do PAILs and rails, expect that to make you a little sore after your first session. That is not unusual as we're taking tissue into new lengths and new positions. It's all new for the tissue, so you have to expect it to maybe be a little sore after that, which is a worthy trade-off to increase the range of motion, gain access of control, and improve the health and quality of the connective tissue. So that is a tutorial training session for functional range conditioning, PAILs and rails of the ankle joint in plantar flexion. Great job.